Well, it's Tuesday.
It is?
It is Tuesday. And we've got an engine here that we've sort of featured on the channel before. Sort of, kind of. On one of our Christmas shows, we were running the current version of this.
Oh, okay.
Because we run it around under our Christmas tree from time to time. This is the first generation model of that, and is actually one of three. Hopeless buyer of everything imaginable. But when this, when Accucraft did this in brass, was the second engine they ever did, ostensibly in half-inch scale, but I think they actually did it in 22 scale. Anyway, I bought one, and I bought it in this exact same paint configuration.
Right.
No lettering, this color scheme and everything, because I love it so much, because you can do so much with it, and you can letter it in different ways and do things with it. So that's what I wanted. That's what I bought. Then this one came out, and this is the Bachmann. This is the Bachmann.
That one's neat.
And they came out with the 440, which I immediately went out and bought one of. And then they did the Mogul, this guy right here. Now, both of those first generation engines had a problem.
Oh, really?
That all of the first generation Bachmanns have, and this one is a little more prone to it than others, which is one of the reasons why we don't run this one. Not that it doesn't run, and we're going to run it here in a minute, but it has the nylon gears.
Oh.
And they're pressed onto the axle. And as soon as they got pressed onto the axle, that caused micro splits in the inside of the gear. And over time, those micro splits become splits.
Big
and eventually
splits.
those splits become either the shaft, the gear spinning on the shaft, or the gear just simply falling completely apart. And you can get brass gears to replace that, and it's a lot of work to do it. And my solution has just been to not run this. And it's in not super great shape. Here's the whistle.
Oh.
It goes right there. I accidentally knocked it off, and it's brass, so
it should be able to go right on.
I could probably solder it or something.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just a few goofy little things. One of the stirrup steps, the one right there. Again, it's a pot metal, and it got broken, and that just makes it a little more challenging to fix. There's certain glues that you can use and whatnot.
Right.
But I have run it, and I've run it quite a bit out in my garden. And then when I found out that these things are prone to just spinning the gears, I thought, I don't know if I want to just spin the gears out of this thing, and I'll just only run it when I really feel like running it.
Yes.
And beyond that, it'll just be in the display case, and it's pretty much just been in the display case ever since.
Right.
I don't quite know what to think of it, but then when Bachmann came out with the reworked version of this with the metal gears and some incredible paint jobs, then we bought the Emma Nevada.
Right.
Which is, we run it around the Christmas tree and we do other things. It's a much more reliable engine. It's the same engine,
yes,
but it's much more detailed. It's got a better pilot up here, and most importantly, it's got the reworked gearbox.
Right.
And they've done that in a Eureka and Palisade paint job, which I'd like to get. They did the Emma Nevada, which we did get.
Right.
And they've also done it in this paint job, which is such a favorite of mine.
I like that one.
It's just, it works for Rio Grande, and you can do other things with it. But the fact that you can put different Rio Grande decals on it, depending on what era you want to do, and you can number it whichever engine you want. It's like,
there it is.
That's what I want right there. That's the paint job that I want.
Right.
And so there's a brass version of this up there that does run quite well, which is the Accucraft, same paint job, slightly smaller, ever so slightly smaller. This one is ostensibly done to 1/20th scale. That one is ostensibly done to 1/2 inch scale. And after taking a ruler to them to really figure out what's going on, this one truly is 1/20th scale.
Okay.
That 1/2 inch scale one is actually 1/22 scale. And I think they did that so that it looked better with the LGB equipment or something, but they advertised it as 1/2 inch scale, and it's actually larger than that.
Oh, wow.
But not quite as large as this, but you can park the two right next to each other and you really don't notice the difference very much at all.
Not at all.
Anyway, it's kind of a display case king or queen, depending on the whichever gender you want to assign to it.
It's just, yeah, it's just cool.
All of that said, and the Glenbrook, the new one's offered in the Glenbrook paint job.
Wow, really?
Because this is the Glenbrook. It's a Baldwin Mogul from 1875 or whatever.
Oh, that's so neat.
So it's an engine that was just all over America. It's a really neat engine, and I'm so glad they did this prototype. And it just it makes me a little unhappy that I have to lose sleep every time we run it for fear that I'm going to break the gearbox.
That's sad.
And not really wanting to tear it apart and try to figure out how to put brass gears in it and so on and so forth. So I don't know what to think. Other than just it's fine just like it is.
It is.
Using it the way we use it, which is not much, seems to work out just fine too. Maybe when we have the whole railroad up and running, then we'll want to run it more.
We'll see what happens.
One thing about it, we don't have any grades, and we wouldn't try pulling anything heavy with it.
No,
so
let it just go around on its own.
It'd probably be okay,
Yeah.
but it could possibly just spin its gears.
Yeah.
But it's a good runner. Let's take it in there and run it, and let's hope it doesn't spin the
Let's
gears
hope it
while we're
doesn't.
doing
Right.
that.
Oh, man.
Oh crap!
Oh, no.
It spun the gears. And the crazy thing, it's just been sitting in the display case.
Right, it's just like been in storage and...
That's all it takes with these nylon gears. They just slowly disintegrate, and you would expect it to spin a gear when you're trying to pull a grade or a heavy load or something, not when you just set it down. But listen, the motor's running, but no joy, it's not moving.
Well, I hope we can fix it, though.
Well, there's several videos on the internet where people say you can do this and you can do that, and then I've read some of the comments back on that saying I tried it and all I succeeded in doing was gluing my fingers together.
Oh.
Because some of the fixes involve using super glue.
Oh, and that can always go badly.
That can always go badly. But I think at some point we should tear this guy down because I've got another idea for a fix of my own creation that might actually be able to bring this thing back to life. If not, it's a display case model from now on.
Yeah.
Darn it.
That is too bad.
It's really too bad. I also wanted to add sound in DCC to this, so if we can get it to run, it would be nice to also tear the tender apart, which isn't too big of a job, and then you can fit a speaker in here.
Well, that'd be fun.
And then command control, and that'd be a nice addition.
Right. So is it easy to get into the gears?
Well, it's not too tough, but it's not easy.
Oh, a job then.
The big problem is the best way to fix this is to press a brass gear onto that axle, and that means taking the driver off the axle, and that means re-quartering the wheel back onto the axle, and that is a significantly difficult job.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So maybe from now on this is just going to be a display model.
Well, at least for a while.
We will give it a try though.
At some point, yes.
We will see if we can't get it to run. Wouldn't this look just great pulling 1870 freight cars or a passenger car? We do have that one passenger car.
We do, yes.
Well, we could try throwing that on behind it. It's Dan Markov's car, sort of, kind of.
Sort of, yeah,
and,
close.
And it's I know this is your favorite period of engine.
I love this, yes. That's my idea of a train.
Yeah. Stinking cute, as you would say.
Just stinking cute. I've loved them since I was a little girl.
Originally, I loved big steam engines. I thought that those were the coolest thing. And then my brother turned me on to the early engines. And now I'm just hopeless. I love them all.
I just love these.
If it runs on steam, I love it.
There you go.
And that's about it. And I know a lot of people aren't that keen on the really early engines.
This is my favorite era.
But then there are people like Greg Hardy that wouldn't model anything other than early engines.
Right.
So, 6 of one, half dozen of another. You do what you do.
Right.
Well, anyway, there it is. Isn't that a neat engine?
It's really neat.
Yeah. And it sits in the display case in there, and And it's got a C16 kind of parked in front of it, so a lot of people don't even notice that it's there. But it's a beautiful engine, and we have the first generation Eureka and Palisade, which I have reworked quite a bit, and I need to get back on that project and finish it. Dan Markoff's Eureka and Palisade number 4, the Eureka, and who knows, maybe someday I'll do the same thing with this.
Might end up.
I was planning to, as I say, dress it out Union Pacific, Union Pacific. Denver Rio Grande Western.
Change it
Maybe
into a diesel.
the early paint job with just the big number on the side or something like that.
Work. Yeah.
Can do a lot with it. Anyway, if you haven't been over the channel, please pop over the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe.
Right.
And the easy way to subscribe is the blue button. Are we ready for it? Zoink! Right there, the blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here on Sunday, because we'll be doing Sunday stuff.
Oh, finally, yes.
Yeah, we're out driving around again. Yay!
We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.